What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. We just got Smaug in the house. This is the box. Pretty big, decently heavy. I got this off Facebook. I wasn't originally planning on getting this. Like, I wasn't. But I did get it for a good deal. About $1,500 total. So, good deal. It was brand new in box. They checked it, no damage. Obviously, it could get damaged in transit, but hopefully not. Do I even own a Weta statue right now? Jupiter. I think I sold every Weta statue I ever owned. So this might be my only Weta statue. Think about it, folks. Do I have a Weta statue in my collection? I'm not sure. Oh, wait. No, I have the tiny little Lord of the Rings Orthonoch and whatever. That's the Weta. So this is a full-scale statue, though. So number 154 of 808. Kind of a weird edition size. But let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Alrighty, folks, wanted to show you what I was greeted with. So I don't see any damage yet. We do see a bunch of styrofoam on Smaug's face, which is annoying. Sometimes that stuff can even stick. So we're going to have to use this. That white thing's not coming off. I don't know if that's damaged or styrofoam stuck. We'll have to look at that further, but as you can see, tons of freaking styrofoam. Let's start taking it out, though. Alrighty, folks, let's go ahead and get this out. Start with that base. Not too big. Lots of freaking, I don't know, I need to vacuum anyways. Alright, so here's the base. Looks to be, God, that freaking styrofoam. It looks maybe to be about a foot wide, because this is a 15-inch Lazy Susan. So I know there's a bunch of little parts, but I did kind of want to get Smaug in there. Alright, yeah, lots of... try to get this off before we put it on. Alrighty, so he is going to go like this, like he is flying. Now we got that bad boy in. Yeah, so it looks like that white part is a scuff mark because it is not coming off, folks. I may have to try and blast the most of it. That is definitely not coming off. Yeah, this thing is loaded. You can even see in the box paint coming off onto the wraps. Alright, so here is the tail. Not one piece of this does not have styrofoam. Freaking peanuts. God, I hate the styrofoam. It's so annoying. Alright, let's look at this. Is that accurate? No, it's like this. Alright, so that is how the tail sets. Honestly, I can barely even see the seam line. I know some people complained about it, but can barely even notice it. I like how it's wrapping around that. I think that's really cool. All right, now the most important. The wings. All right. Definitely lots of styrofoam. Just trying to use my freaking thing, but Jupiter's cock. The wings are quite massive. I mean, not near as big as like King Ghidorah, bear in mind. As far as I could tell, this one goes right here. So it's a pretty big metal rod. The cocksucker will go in. All right, there we go. Now I really want to know how tall this guy is. Well, it finally happened. My tape measure broke. I've been having issues with this forever. So we need to buy a new one. All right, we'll measure. I have a different tape measure. I will measure it though. Okay. Yeah, let me get all this styrofoam off. All right, so here's the other wing. The wings definitely make this quite big immediately. Like the actual dragon body is not as big. Once you get the wings on though, it makes it quite massive. Alrighty. Yeah, so as you can see, the wings make it much, much bigger. All right, so that's the main thing. Everything else is just going to be these like little parts, like trees and whatnot. So you have some burned trees from him using as fire. And so I did watch, there was only like one good YouTube video of this guy. I was watching it before I purchased it, wanted to make sure I wanted to buy it. And overall, I thought he did a good job in his video. I can't even remember the name of the YouTube channel, but just search Weta Smaug and you'll see like one good video, and then there's nothing else, which is kind of surprising considering there's a lot of Lord of the Ring collectors. This is a sold out piece, so basically outside of the few Chinese sellers out there, it is sold out. All right, yeah, so these are all color-coded. So you can go ahead and get them in very easily. Let's see, this is green. Yeah, so the trees, let's see, white. Where is the white one? I'll get that later. Red. This is almost feels like metal, this burned down tree. It's very heavy, actually, which is kind of surprising. Yeah, so 3 burned down trees at the front. And 1 more white tree right here. All right. That looks to be accurate, so let's get a good look-see. Yeah, definitely is really good presence. Definitely noticeable wing seam lines, but that is inevitable with a dragon with open wings. Like King Ghidorah has them. My Fell Beast has it. So it looks like really just one little issue. Remember the guy in the video was complaining about the teeth. His had like some paint on it. Now it is so hard to see in person to see that. I can't tell on mine. I literally have to get a magnifying glass. But overall, the Smaug head does look good outside that little chip, which frankly, I think I could get away with just a little bit of black paint to cover that since he does have black throughout. But yeah, these wings are huge. Give me a sec, folks. I'm going to grab my other tape measure and we can measure this bad boy. Alrighty, folks. So let's go ahead and wanted to measure this guy. Yeah, I'm going to have to buy another freaking tape measure. All right, so in terms of the base, you're talking about 13 and a half, 14 inches. And it looks like it is the same in depth. Like it's just a circular base. Yeah, so it's really like 13 inches deep. The tallest point, I mean, honestly, the wings kind of look the same. And the Jupiter, it's like a, I don't know about yen. Yeah, it's about 34, about 87 centimeters. This one is actually more like 30, like below 32. In terms of width, from wing to wing, you're talking about 33 inches, about 84 centimeters. So definitely a tall boy. Yeah, it's this wing right here that is the tallest point. Just the tip of this. And then probably right here. Then right here. So overall impressions. So the last one I owned, which was like 10 years ago, was a very short statue, like 12 inches. It had a gold base, just nothing but tons of gold. And then Smaug didn't have any seam lines, but it didn't have this crazy good presence. So I definitely like the presence. I also prefer open mouth versus non-open mouth, so that was a big advantage to this one. In terms of the base, so this is obviously like the mountain. It has that cool looking giant dwarf statue holding something, which is honestly almost like the size of a quarter scale Gimli. Like it's a little smaller, but it's pretty big. So he's standing on the mountain. He looks like he's mid-flight the way they did pose this. So his feet are not touching or anything. But let's kind of check out the base. You have this water effect. It looks pretty good. You can see like the white, the rocks. It's pretty good. It's not the greatest, but it's definitely pretty good. I got no complaints there. The underbase is just black. I would have loved something different. I mean, I'm glad it has an underbase and like the statue doesn't start right here. But when you look at the Prime 1 underbases, they're all like Lord of the Rings themed. I would have preferred some sort of Hobbit themed bottom base. Now the trees, like I said, these honestly kind of feel like metal. They're kind of sharp, they're heavy. And like this tree has like burnt on it. So you can kind of see this side is more green. That one's kind of blackened. These ones are pure green. I like the way the tail kind of wraps around the statue. I think that's pretty cool. Also ensures like if they were to put the tail going like this, it'd make it super deep. And so they definitely kept size, because depth is always one of the hardest things to display. It really is. I think depth is the hardest, then width. Height is the easiest. There's the seam line on a tail. Not too bad, especially when viewing from the front angle like this. Like you honestly don't see it at all. And honestly, the best angle of the statue is probably going to be like that. So you don't want to look straight on because it's hard to see like creatures straight on. You want to see it slightly from the angle. So you can do either angle. Like that looks really good as well. This angle, you do get to see the seam line a little bit better. So this angle, granted, that is where I have the like little white scuff mark. That's the only main scuff mark. I mean, right there at the tip of the nose, it kind of looks like the paint was maybe coming off as well. Because there was some red on the like paper. So it's possible that came off. I mean, this thing probably sat in a box for many, many years, sitting through hot, cold. And so the like, I don't know if this is possibly coming off or it's just the paint app. If I was to guess, maybe coming off. So here's the seam lines on the wings. Yes, definitely very, very noticeable. From every angle, it is very, very noticeable. Yeah, even at the top, very, very noticeable. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. These type of statues have to have a seam line because they can't ship it like this or it will arrive damaged. So, but it is what it is. I accept that. I knew that going in. Overall, I do like the base. I think it looks really nice. Like I said, just a better themed underbase. And other than that, it's really, really nice. Smaug himself, I haven't seen a comparison of this versus the gold one, but they do kind of seem to be about the same scaling, if I was to guess. Obviously, this one just has that crazy big wing presence. You remove the wings, it doesn't have like presence at all, but the wings really make it big. It's similar with Ghidorah. When you remove Ghidorah's wings, the presence is very minimal. But the moment you add the wings, you're like, holy crap. I do like the way they did the wings. I think they overall look very, very nice. The wings themselves have fantastic paint and detail. They have tons of little veins, and it has that classic like Smaug Weta look that I do like, just like the last one. Yeah, so there is a tiny bit of almost like scuffness right here. Not a huge deal, but then the underside, the undercarriage. I think this side looks cooler than the underside. And then, of course, he has like almost fingers as well, almost like a bat. The wings definitely look very, very cool. I mean, King Ghidorah's also look very, very cool. So they very, very cool looking wings. Overall, it's a really cool looking dragon. I love Smaug. I think he was really cool in the movie. Benedict Cumberbatch voice. So I've always wanted to get a Smaug statue back. When I first saw this, I was very impressed. I thought, man, that looks sick. It's huge. Big, open-winged, open-mouthed Smaug statue. Very, very cool. I'm going to have to like zoom out for you guys to see just like the presence of this bad boy. So I'm going to try to fix that little scuff mark. I think just a little bit of black paint will kind of cover that, fix it. That's my only concern. Other than that, everything's kind of standard and I accept it for what it is. The nose definitely looks like I had a little bit of paint rubbing off, but it's not a huge deal. Now, of course, if you display it more like that, it kind of fixes both of those issues. And you get better angles of that. Well, either side honestly looks good for that dwarf statue. But yeah, Smaug looks good either way you put it. So we're going to go ahead and set this up in the room. I might have to remove the wings or I just carry it forward and it should be fine. Because, yeah, width-wise, it's too much. But if you carry it like this way, it should be easy to transport. And they are in there pretty good. It has a big metal rod to kind of secure it. Let's go ahead and put it in that room now. Alrighty, folks. So first thing I wanted to show you guys is how Smaug looks next to the other creatures. Definitely very, very cool. I think this pairs better than the gold one does. Now, here's the crazy thing. I measured it, but when I look at it next to the garage shelf, I actually think it will fit inside. Because the garage shelf does go slightly, like, you can fit it towards, like, you won't see it because of the black bar, but it would fit actually inside a garage shelf. So that does kind of change things a little bit because I didn't think I could. Now, Fellbeast is the smallest one. Unfortunately, Fellbeast doesn't fit right there, or at least I haven't tried it. Because if I could fit Fellbeast there, then you could do like Smaug right there or Smaug there. Having Balrog in the middle. I'm trying to think. I'd probably actually do Balrog on the left, Smaug on the right. But yeah, that's how it looks. I think it looks really cool. Really, really cool next to the other creatures. I like that a lot. Ideally, yes, I would love to display them together. Just have Balrog in the middle, but basically just like this, on one 60-inch garage shelf. That would be perfect. So in the next house, that's how I'd love to do it. Have them all top shelf, one 60-inch like shelf, and all three would fit together. On a 48, if it was top shelf, I mean, Smaug has the wings, but he's actually not too, like, the base is not very big. So I think the scaling's also really nice. Like, it scales good with these. Now, Smaug is technically 1/100th scale. And I would say Balrog's actually more like 1/20th scale. Same with that. Like, that's 1/20th. So, I mean, technically, scaling-wise, they are drastically different, but Smaug's just that big. Like, he's much bigger than, like, the Fellbeast or Balrog. But this does look really cool. So, for right now, I am going to display Smaug here. I was also kind of thinking of putting it on the ground right there, but I don't think I'd like that at all. I think the best case is to see if, like, maybe, perhaps, somehow... I mean, I would love if I could raise this shelf one, which would be difficult. I mean, look how close that sword is. Like, there's just no way I could raise that even one with that freaking Nazgul bust. The Nazgul bust is so big. He's not as tall. Nazgul, that sword is ridiculously long. Like a super long sword. I'm still annoyed they didn't do metal. Look how much better that metal one looks right there. This has no shine. But, yeah, so I think, I mean, I have not tried Fellbeast. Now, keep in mind, Fellbeast is boosted right there to make him slightly taller. He is actually about 2 inches off the ground. I think if I did put him there, he might fit, but he would be blocked by the black thing, at least like the Nazgul at the top would. I could theoretically remove the Nazgul as well. Granted, I do like that Nazgul. It's part of the scene. I would have to try it, though, to see if we could get Nazgul, Balrog, Smaug. That's how I would like to do it. Now, you could also do Smaug where the Fellbeast is, but I think considering it's dragonish looking, I'd prefer to have Balrog in the middle to kind of separate from some sort of flying creature, almost type dragon, to Balrog, then an actual red dragon. You know, this red dragon kind of reminds me of, back in the day, I used to have a red dragon by ARH Studios. Do you guys remember that? Like 10 years ago when I first got into collecting. I loved The Hobbit, and I wanted to get a red dragon, so I bought that one. I even got like plastic gold to try to make a statue out of it. Make it like, hey, it's from The Hobbit. I bought that red dragon for that reason. I thought it was a cool looking dragon. Obviously, this is infinitely better, both in terms of detail and everything. Let's go ahead and put it up here, see how it looks. Alrighty, folks, so that is how Smaug looks next to like other quarter scale Lord of the Rings statues. So I'm going to keep it right here for now. Obviously, if you display it like this, it is the most width. If you have it turned slightly to the side, it does help with the width. And it's really only the top part that's super wide. The bottom's easy, as you can see, which definitely makes things easier to display. King Ghidorah is the same, where like his base fits like this, but then it's like super wide at the top. So, and this is where my Hobbit theme is. Azog is probably arriving Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Sume Goku just hit customs. It arrives tomorrow, and Azog shipped 3 days after. So people keep asking about, hey, what's going on with Azog? Because everyone wants to see that video. So I should have it, honestly, like Wednesday next week is my guess. So obviously he's going to go right here. My Lurtz custom bust, like the mold is done. It's being painted up. Honestly, it's probably a month out from shipping. Additionally, not only is Jupe making me a custom Lurtz bust, which looks phenomenal, we're also getting a revised Golem bust that's going to be superior. So he's going to fix some of the QC issues I had with this one. He's also making it so the head angle is not looking upwards so much. Here's the thing. I love the head angle down there. But the moment you put it like right there or any higher, I hate the angle. It's so bad. But down there, it looks freaking amazing. It does have definitely some QC issues, like with the silicone, the attachment to the base. The eyes, I think, could be better. And there's a few areas where it looks like it's pretty rough. And so he's going to fix all of that. And he's adjusting the head angle so it's a little bit, probably about 20 degrees lowered. Like he showed me what it looked like, and now it looks perfect. So he's finishing that up. So he'll probably ship that and Lurtz at the same time. And then when I do get the Golem bust, if I need space, I can always put it right here. Because I like that does fit right here, but I just didn't like the height with that head angle there. Ideally, I wouldn't mind doing Golem here. Ultimately, I'd love to just move Game of Thrones and put Golem right here. Now that I know Smaug does fit inside a garage shelf, that is a big difference, because originally I didn't know like what I could do with it. But it does fit down low, which does make a big deal. And it's not too deep. So theoretically, if I do need to display Smaug right here with like Fellbeast and freaking Balrog, that would fit really nicely. So yeah, overall, I think it's a really cool statue. Retail on this, like I believe Spec Fiction was selling it for like $1,300 shipped or $13.99. And I remember seeing it going for $12.50 through Weta's website plus shipping. So I in essence paid about MSRP. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Overall, I mean, the guy who originally got this, he ranked it a 9 out of 10. I do really like it quite a bit. There's no characters on it like these guys. Like that has Gandalf and that has like Frodo in the works. But I do really like it. I think it's really cool. The presence is awesome. Like it has really good presence. Those wings are awesome. And it's like, this guy also has seam lines, like right there, very visible. He also has some seam lines. You can see right there. A head seam line right there. Like they all got seam lines. But I would say it's between this and Fellbeast, they're about equal in terms of seam lines. I don't think the tail seam line's bad at all. So yeah, I would agree. It's a 9 out of 10 piece for what it is. Is it better than the last Smaug? I mean, I would have to compare them side by side. But I'm going to say yes. I think it's a cooler looking statue all around. Mostly because of the pose. The pose is really dynamic and cool. The detail's fantastic. I mean, just as good as the last one. Last one had fantastic detail and sculpt and paint work. The gold base was very iconic because, you know, 2 of the movies, he was just sitting in gold. This is from the last movie. What was the last one called? The Battle of the Five Armies. I love the Hobbit movies. They're so good. I actually plan to watch Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and Avatar all during my winter break. So at work, once it's like Christmas Eve till the end of the year, I get it off. So I get like, in essence, almost 2 weeks of work off. Now, of course, I'll work if, you know, customers reach out to me or whatever. But 2 weeks off, I'm going to be playing tons of video games, binging movies. Usually me and the wife also binge like Harry Potter movies during the winter break. I love having a winter break. I've only had it at 2 gigs, but my job has it now. Super, super cool. Anyways, folks, that is it. Let me know what you guys think of Smaug, the Fire Beast. There it is. Really, really cool. I am going to test it out to see if I can put it here and do Fellbeast in there. I know Smaug will fit, 100% will fit. Like, I looked at it, and it's definitely fitting. It'll be a slight pain to kind of get it in, but it will fit once it's in. But getting Fellbeast to fit down there, that's another question. Anyways, folks, see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.